Hello, everybody. And guess what? We have a special guest today.
One of the inspirations. Say hi again, Philip. Sorry, I interrupted it.
Philip, can you say hi again? You don't want to.
That's fine. We got a little
All right. So one of the inspirations
of the title.
for
of the name.
The title. Yes.
An OG nip tipper.
OG. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, bud.
You're welcome. I was kind of forced to be here today.
He's like, no problem. This was against my will, but it's fine. Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
Correct.
I know.
But I'm gonna be so distracted. I'm gonna be so distracted by your beauty, bud.
Well, yeah.
He's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so we thought we would finally, now that we're all caught up and we're awaiting more Bridgerton.
Yes.
We would finally,
which, by the way, we need to also be watching Love is Blind.
Okay.
Yeah, just add it to the list.
That's fine. You're so far behind on Supernatural. I've begun the finale of season 2, so I'll finish season 2. Girl.
Well, I need to just start watching it at night.
I will finish season 2. I've started the finale of season 2. It's not the finale. It's the episode before the finale. Well, the finale is like a 2-parter, right?
Yes.
So I've started. Sam's been abducted, and that's the episode that I'm watching.
Yeah. All right.
So I will finish that because I'm an hour away from being done with season 2 of Supernatural. Then I'll transition to Love is Blind, and you can catch up on Supernatural.
Watch everything simultaneously. I'll just have a laptop and that playing at once, and I'll just be like...
Yes. I mean, to be fair, I did sort of quietly, forcefully, patiently insist that you switch gears and watch Heated Rivalry.
Well, yeah, which we will also be talking about a little bit today.
Yeah, we're gonna dabble into Heated Rivalry, but Elizabeth hasn't read the books yet, so we're gonna keep that at a minimum for now. Elizabeth has just watched the show. Teresa has ravenously consumed any Heated Rivalry content that exists.
Well, and so today our topic of conversation is Quicksilver and its sequel, Brimstone.
And I will do my best not to shit talk it too hard.
I'm going to start by saying it's not the worst book in the world.
High praise.
I recommend that anybody who is a lover of Fae and smut and all of those things, yes, put it on your TBR, but you don't necessarily need to run to go read it at this point.
Yeah, this can sort of like fill a hole in a non-sexual way. I know. I was like,
also in a sexual way.
In a sexual way, but also like just like the act of filling a hole feels just like in itself sexual, which is not what I meant. It was just sort of like if there's a lull, if you're waiting for, Unrivaled, the 7th book of Heated Rivalry to come out, pick up Brimstone.
Right,
to fill your time.
It's to fill to fill the cup,
and also. I just have to highly recommend that you go in being like, I'm going to have like a fun time. I can't pull too hard on the threads of logic or reality because that shit falls apart so fucking fast.
Yeah.
And if you were like, I would like a novel that is like literature. This is maybe not it.
This is not for you.
This is not the one. But if you're like, I kind of want like the equivalent of a beach read, but it's romantasy.
Yep.
This is it.
This is it. It's perfect.
This is it.
You really shouldn't think that hard about it while you're
I beg of you not to, because
you can't.
I in fact hurt my own feelings.
You can't really like
too hard.
You can't really do all of the stuff that we normally do for for a Sarah J. Maas book or
you can't fall down the rabbit hole of like Easter eggs because they are either not there or you couldn't have fucking missed them. They're not subtle or they're not present.
Exactly.
And sometimes both are true.
And sometimes it's both. And
sometimes it's, somehow both.
It's very confusing. So let's get into it.
There's the most important question. Will I read book 3? Yes.
Yes. The answer is
but
yes.
But also, have I ever DNF'd a single book my entire life? No.
You almost did.
But I didn't. Because I'm a fucking champion. If I pick up a book and start it, I'm fucking finishing it. I might complain the whole time, but I will finish it.
Have I taken pauses and then come back to it? Yes.
Of course.
But
have I full send been like, this is a DNF, I'm not finishing it, I couldn't possibly finish it? Never, ever.
Nope. I have
never. I can't use that as my never have I ever, because I have never done that, and I will never do that.
Right. Exactly. And I don't know. I'm just not a quitter.
Exactly. I am a procrastinator. And occasionally a complainer.
But I ain't a quitter. I'm gonna do it, but you're gonna hear about it.
But honestly, like, I can't talk shit about it, and I can't bitch about how bad it is unless I read it. So I have to earn my right.
I've earned the badge to say I can now shit talk it.
I mean, and honestly, the first one. The first one is better than the second one. Let's start there.
Did not have as much. I had way more issues with Brimstone than I did with Quicksilver.
Oh yeah, I was like, are we about to disagree? That feels crazy.
No.
Now, in part, I can't tell if I'm like, hey, editors, where were you?
Well,
not present.
Honestly, I think that's my biggest issue right now with it, is that as somebody who has dyslexia and ADHD, who can't ignore shit, I would have had a really hard time physically reading this one. It's a good thing that I listened to it, because I do think that they fixed some of the, like, grammatical errors that should not have been there. Like, I don't know, straight up missing words.
Well, I even think they solved the, like, it's not even a grammatical error, it's just, like, we forgot where the characters were in time and space.
Right.
Which I'm pretty sure they took out for you. You said the audio version.
I think that was taken out. I do not, like...
It would have jumped out and hit you across the face, because I was like, what the fuck? Because Saris is in...
Yeah.
Sansaroth.
And they're in Zelvarin.
And she's thinking, and Carrion and Fisher are in, how do you say the name of her desert planet? Zelvarin. And then, like, full send, she's in her room at Sansaroth, and she's like, I wonder where Carrion is. Oh, right, he's training with Lorith. I was like, he's not in this fucking realm. What are you saying? What the fuck?
No, that did not happen. I'm pretty sure they just straight up took that out.
Just took a sentence out entirely. I'm just like, girl, what the fuck? Like, and it's not even like they went to Zelvarin like a long time ago. It was like literally like the previous chapter. They stepped through the Quicksilver pool, and then she's like, I think Lorith and Carrion are training today. I'm like, you are what? And then I'm so pulled out of it, and I'm like, I don't trust you. I don't trust anything you say. You don't know where your fucking characters are.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Bless you. Philip also could not be bothered to care.
No cares.
My dude.
I'm sleepy.
I can tell. You couldn't even pretend to care, my friend.
See, this is Onyx. This is my Onyx.
I know. I did think that when I was like, oh, what a perfect position. Also, P.S. When you open the book with the potential death of an animal, I'm going to kill you. And then, when you circle back around and are like, remember how he almost died? Now he's going to die for real.
Remember how he almost died? Now he's really going to die. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
But also, like, then I'm going to bring him back to life again. I'm like, do it or don't. Do not play with me like this.
Don't play with me, because, like, this is becoming cruel at this point. This is emotional abuse. This is emotional abuse, Callie. Yeah, I will say I liked Quicksilver more than I liked Brimstone. Well, you want to know what one of my biggest issues with Brimstone is?
Tell me.
The fucking fact, well, I have lots of issues, but one of them is they don't fucking mention Brimstone as an element until, like, over halfway through the fucking book.
Well than halfway through the book.
Like, way too far into the book. And, because, like, I'm reading it, and I'm like, we haven't mentioned fucking Brimstone yet. And we talk about Quicksilver, like, right at the fucking... So that was pretty frustrating for me.
Sarah's is not very inquisitive as far as the runes tattooed on her hands go,
the fact that she's just like, oh yeah, confusing. She's like, these things? Ah. And they're like, oh, those could kill you. And she's like, it's fine.
I'm like, oh no.
Casually.
Do some fucking research. Figure out what those things say.
And I mean, she's doing research, but not like, I think that she could be doing more.
She's not doing pointed research. It just sort of feels like she's like, I don't know. And they're like, start with the thing on your hand. Start, like, that's a good starting place.
Like, we'll start there. Well, and then they're like, well, fire sprites are made of brimstone, and that's how fire sprites are made. And then, not Danica, that's another series. What is that bitch warrior's name?
What's that name? I don't know how to pronounce any of these characters' names. I'm just like, that one.
It starts with a D.
It does start with a D. You're right. Give me 2 seconds.
I know. I'm sorry, Philip.
It's like, what are you doing to me?
Danya. Danya's like, well, we'll just fucking kill the fire sprites. And I'm like, what the fuck, Danya? Jesus, we already don't like you. So, like...
I'm waiting for the day in which Danya could have died, but someone else dies in her place.
Yes.
Because that's, I feel like, the trope we're headed toward of, like, we all wish that, you know, like, Lorth's gonna sacrifice himself and save her, and we're all like, I wish you had died.
And we're all gonna be like, we wish you had fucking died. Yeah.
That's where we're going. What a little emotional DP.
Yep. From Spinks. And we're making life easier. Yeah. You're welcome.
You know, Philip loves that crushed ice. No crushed ice for little Philly Phils?
No, because it has Dr. Pepper all over it.
This is lame.
Sponsor
He's so sleepy.
us.
He's so sleepy.
He is.
He could use a little caffeination.
He's an old man. DP. He's an old man. He doesn't need it.
Oh my god. His eyes are like
one eye.
His eyes are like slow blinking, separate from each other.
No, this eye is all teary. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I had an issue with the fact that they were like, Brimstone. And I'm like,
that's my problem with a lot of the book is like that. It's like, but of course, and you're like,
that wasn't clear, ladies and gentlemen.
How would I have known that? How could I even have begun to suspect that?
Right.
And I want to either be like so far in the wrong direction because you gave me like a tiny little Easter egg that was like a red herring, or I want to be like, I fucking knew it.
Right.
But a lot of this book where I was like,
float in
what?
I have no idea what's going on.
And
I guess we'll just read.
You can get away with that in the first book because Saris is entering this world and she doesn't know anything, just like we don't know anything. But like the longer she's in that world, the less likely it is that she remains a fucking idiot.
Right. And I don't think that she's an idiot.
I don't think she's an idiot either.
But
which is why it's unlikely that she remains a fucking idiot.
Right. So, and also like, I like Kingfisher. But the woe is me bullshit is just tiresome.
Kingfisher has the, like, hunt, like, disease.
Yeah.
Where
it's like you like him and you can understand him, but at the same time you're just like, bro.
He's just, like not charming enough.
He's,
like, not charming enough to pull it off. Where you're like, occasionally you have to not be a shithead.
Right. And, like, you can't be, like, pissed off at everybody all the time and like only be nice to Saris because it feels fake when he's actually nice.
There's that. There's also just sort of like, I want to be like, my dude, I'm being like so fucking for right now. You are not the only person who has suffered in this life.
Who is suffering and has suffered.
And like, I don't want to like downplay your trauma, but like, it wasn't that bad. Comparatively. Compared to some of the other things we've seen.
Yeah.
You, like, hanging out in that maze for 100 years was, like, not the worst thing.
I mean, he did have to battle, like, that demon multiple times, but, like... And,
sure,
like,
but he also, like, fully knew he was never going to die.
Right. Like, that's the other thing, is, like, he was never going to die.
There've been some real horrific shit that, like Crescent City, when they, like, cut off the wings and then, like, crucify people, and they put the, when they put the wraith in the box and then, like, yeet her into, like, the ocean forever, that's some fucking traumatic shit.
Right. Him being in a maze for 100 years.
You know, and we didn't even fall into the trope of, like, he was some queen's sex slave.
But, like...
Not that that's the only trauma.
Not that that's the only trauma that, like, yes, he has trauma, but, like, I mean, I almost understand Hunt's woe is me bullshit more than I understand Kingfisher's.
Hunt was, like, emotionally manipulated and physically manipulated and sexually manipulated and...
100%.
And, like, the psychological torment that he went through is, like, so much more extreme. Hunt has, like, made a bad deal.
You mean Kingfisher?
God damn it, yes.
Kingfisher made a bad deal.
Kingfisher, correct, like, made a shit deal. And also, like, he knows better because he's a Fae.
Right.
Like when Saris makes the deal that's, like, very rapey, of, like, she has no control over her body, and only what he says goes, is, like, friend. The level of non-consent's not cool, friend.
It's not really
cool. And then, like, he does shit like that where you're like, your trauma is, like, not very dramatic, and also, like, you are continuing the cycle of trauma, so, like, it's hard for me to get on your side.
Right, and
then you're just, like, a fucking shithead.
Right, and then you're just, like, this dick shithead, who's not even, like, your friends, are trying to, like, bring you back, and you're just like, no, I'm gonna be mad and sad all the time. I'm gonna be grumpy about it, too.
I will say, on the reread of Quicksilver, I could see because right at the end of Quicksilver, we learned that he has known who she was the entire time.
Yes.
That he knew that she was his, like, fated person.
Godbound.
What are they called? God. I was like, they're not heartmates.
That's something else, and they're not just mates. I mean, they are mates. Like, they're mates, right, but they're godbound mates.
But they're godbound mates. He's known that since laying eyes on her when she was dying. And that a lot of his anxiety is the fact that, like, she's so delicate, so, like, she's so human.
Right.
She could slip through his fingers at any time, and so, like, he's got high anxiety from that. So, like, that gives you a different read on him in a reread. But, like, I want little morsels of that. I want little tastes of that.
What little taste of, like, a longing
I want
from
to suspect
him, like...
Right, I want to suspect that before I get that knowledge. You know, like, when I think about Rhys, before we learn that they're mates, you know, like, that Rhys is, like, more than just Feyre's friend.
Right.
You know that Rowan is, like, more than just, like, being an asshole to Aelin for no fucking reason. Like, there's a sense that there is something deeper here. Whereas Kingfisher, on the first read, you're like, why is this dude such an asshole?
Right. He's just such a fucking dick. And, like, he's so mean to her. And, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, I find Carrion more likable than Kingfisher.
Carrion's great. Carrion's great.
And, like, I'm sorry. Let's talk about Carrion's trauma.
Carrion's trauma is way more, like, I can wrap my head around how traumatic that is. Way easier.
Like, Carrion should be more...
Of an asshole.
He has literally watched every single person he loves die. Every single one of them. Every single one.
He knows that he's not of this world.
Right. He's known that he doesn't belong. He knows that he's
stranded and he doesn't belong.
Right.
And he's
and
just
like all he knows of his culture are these scraps of drawings and like stories that these women who have raised him are telling him.
And he's watched countless horrors from
for like what, 1,000 years?
Yeah. I also I was fully expecting that Kingfisher's daddy is still alive.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all know.
Though I'm kind of suspicious now that, like, the dad that brought
Yeah, so
Carrion
I
is
feel
not
like
his
it's very,
biological father.
Right. But his dad had shadows. They've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's talk.
Whoa.
Let's talk about the shadows.
Let's talk about the fact that we don't know what anybody's fucking magic is because it's personal. And I'm like, okay, but like that it can't always be personal because then I don't fucking know what anybody fucking does. And then when people are like there was no mention of like shadows are super rare or like nobody has shadows. Like, okay, let's go back to Hunt. The fact that Hunt, like, they're always like, no angel has lightning. Okay, so Hunt's special. We get that. Now we know, like, oh, we should probably keep an eye on that, and like
we should clock
all the references to Thur, and like we should clock the fact that like nobody has lightning, and like there is no mention that shadows don't exist as a power or as a big magic because there's small magic and big magic. Which I don't even want to fucking touch that.
I could talk in a whole hour just about how annoying that is.
I could talk in a whole hour just about the fact that like there's no magic in Gilthrai. No. In Amenthraeth.
Yeah.
But yet they could still use magic.
He can still use
and they're
magic.
Like, oh, well, you can use small magic. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking convenient.
Sometimes he uses big magic and then is sad that he can't use his big magic when I'm like, you literally just used your big magic. The fuck are you saying to me right now?
So there's that. So, like we don't even know what really Ren's power is. It's some kind of, like, light. I couldn't tell you what Lorith's power is. I couldn't even tell you what Danya's power is.
Does she have power? Do all Fae inherently have power? Who's to say? Because I don't know that his sister has powers.
Well, and also, like, the fact that, like, we were just brought into, like, small magics. I'm like, what the fuck is a small magic? And also, like, what do you mean? That, like, you can also, like, use it all up and it's gone forever.
Forever. That's insane. Also,
that's insane.
They're, like, essentially immortal.
Right. Because, like, okay, so the only person that we actually know what they do is the healer.
Yes. Too many names.
They're all, like, not... Hold on. So, oh my god, what is her name? Why can't... It's, like, on the fucking tip of my tongue. Taylana.
Yes. I was like, it's a T.
Taylana. We, like, her big magic is healing, and she's a healer. That's it. That's, like, the only person that we know what they do.
We know that Kingfisher has shadows.
Okay, well, other than
apparently he's a son of hell.
Which, okay, guys, when I finished this book, I called Teresa, and she answered, I go, how the fuck was I supposed to know that he was a demigod?
See, again,
the fuck?
I want you to have red herringed me and me be so far wrong.
Right.
Or I want to be so smugly satisfied when I figured it out like 3 pages before it was said. Those are what I want. I don't want anything else. I don't want to be blindsided without ever having like what makes me the most angry are the witch patterns on Tal's chest.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's no...
You're supposed to know.
How the fuck am I supposed to know that, though? That's how witches use magic. Like, we needed to see
like,
Isabel use that in some form in one.
Ishabel.
We needed to see her use that in some form in
right,
one,
like...
So that when we see Tal's chest, we're like, that's weird. Because she was just sort of a tattoo. And the fact of the matter is, tattoos just appear on Saris and Kingfisher, so it's not that weird that Tal maybe just had like a tattoo bloom on his chest. I don't know, because I don't know the rules of this world. And then, when they're like, oh fuck, it's witch magic, duh, and I'm like, don't duh me, how was I supposed to know that? So the whole time, theoretically, I should be like a little sus and trying to figure it out and like being a little suspicious of Tal. Nope, I had no idea. And then the fact that they're just sort of like, oh, of course, but of course. No, do not, but of course me.
No, don't be like, duh.
Do not be like that. It makes me so, I was like, I'm gonna lose it. Like, at that point in the book, I was like, I am over it. I am mad no matter what happens from here on out.
Well, and then we go into hell, and I'm so fucking confused. Because also, like, Agen's Gate, like, they've talked about it multiple times. They don't actually talk about it, though. They're just like, Agen's Gate.
They also, like, can't talk about it anymore because, like, the Quicksilver took that song. They're like, it's
right
now. And
right,
like, what
and
do
I
you
was
mean?
like,
she's like, what do you mean? They're like, it's ours, it's secret. And you're like, what the fuck?
Right. I'm like,
and Laura's like, what song? And I'm like, oh my god.
And that was a big key point. Like, he literally lays out all of the things that happen at Agen's Gate. And, like, and then also, like, what, they're kind of, like, there's, like, this, like...
It's a secret! Like, then why am I reading it?
Well, I mean, but that's kind of, like, that's my whole problem with, like, the whole magic thing. They're like, it's a secret. You don't really talk about it. You're not supposed to talk about it. Like, you can't know somebody's name. Everything's a fucking secret! And I can't... and the thing is that, like, it can't all be a fucking secret all the time. And then,
Agreed.
On top of it, we're getting first person. So, like, she don't know dick.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that... I think that's a big problem with first person. But then you also are getting Kingfisher's perspective, and Kingfisher has a lot of information. So, like, we should be learning more shit.
We should be learning through Kingfisher.
But we
be
also,
like, oh, remember, that's a secret from her, but it's not a secret in my head. Like,
right, but the trope of, like, Cyrus is learning this world is a very easy access point to being, like, to build out the exposition of what you need to know, because she needs to know. Right. So it's...
Because she's, like, always in the goddamn dark about everything.
Right, and therefore...
So, therefore, the readers are in the dark about everything.
I mean, I was... Gobsmacked is maybe too strong of a word, but I was like, wait, what? When they were like, oh yeah, Tal was fighting with us. I was like, since when? What are you saying?
You mentioned that, and I was like, oh yeah, they had mentioned that they had grown up together, and, like, they've known Tal for a very long time.
I do not remember that in Quicksilver. I know them, they talked about it in Brimstone, but there is no reference in Quicksilver. Like, when they was like, I know him, I was like, right, because he tormented you for 100 years in the maze.
See, I'm gonna have to, like, do a little fact checking on that, because I'm pretty sure he mentioned something about it.
So I found that very annoying.
But I do agree, there wasn't, like, a lot of, like, even Ren's not even like, oh, we lost so-and-so. Like, he doesn't talk about, like, he doesn't talk about Tal like he's died.
Right, well, because they talk about Foley, where they're like, we lost him. And, like, the reveal of, like, he's actually a vampire is, like, that's good, right? That's a good example.
Right.
That's great, because also, like, we know no body, no death.
Right. Obviously.
So, you know, Elizabeth and I are always a little sus that, like, if I didn't see a dead body,
if I don't see a
dead
dead body,
body's probably popping up somewhere.
Exactly.
But there's no sense of, like, Tal was lost to us. Also, just, like, call him Taladius.
Taladeus.
I knew I was gonna get it wrong. Call him Taladeus, and then just, like, be like, oh, Tal. You know, so, like, pretend they're two different people.
Right.
And then when we realize, then we understand that he's like, call me Tal. You're like, oh, fuck, you're that Tal.
Oh, you're that guy.
Now it's all coming together for me. There's no like, I'm not like, you know, sitting here sort of wondering and spiraling and coming up with, like, little ideas that then sort of, like, get confirmed or, like horribly, you know, I forget the word. You confirm it or it's denied. You know, you're like,
okay,
this theory, like, this theory is good, or this theory is, like, so off the mark, right? But I want one or the other.
I mean, like, as I was reading it, Teresa kept on being like, oh, well, like, what's your theory? And I'm like, I don't have one, because I don't fucking know. Because, like, I can't possibly know. So, like, and that's really frustrating, because, like, we love, like,
that's
the
what
part of reading these books.
That's what we came for.
Right. I come to also, like, kind of figure it out as I'm reading. And then at the end, I can be like, haha, or ooh.
Ooh, I was wrong. Yeah. I also, like, if it were me, and I had my entire future written out by my dead mother-in-law in a book, there's no fucking way I would forget to read it. Not once.
The way
that they're just sort of like, oh, right, we have this book of prophecies that we keep forgetting about. What the fuck fuck is wrong with you?
I immediately, like, as soon as that book put itself together, I was like, where's the dead one? I was like, that one's gonna be the most important fucking page of the book. And I was right. It was.
Yeah, the way that she's like, oh, I forgot to read the book.
Girl.
But also,
I don't understand why that's not tucked into your bra at all times.
The fact that they were like, I don't know where Ren is. And I was like, I know where Ren is. Y'all, you were trying to, when he
oh, yeah, disappeared.
Like, absconded. And they're like, where could he be? I'm like, maybe where could he be? There's a certain evil king looking for you. Maybe check his pocket. And then she's like, the trade? What trade? I'm like, obviously you're gonna have to trade for Kingfisher. Like, come on.
Right. And obviously there's a page missing. Go find the fucking page! Yes. There was... And then also, like, I don't want to call him the Horcrux, because that's not right. The Haldrix?
Yes.
It's something like that.
I wanted to call it the Hatterax, and I was like, I also know that's
no. I think it is the Hatterax.
Is it the Hatterax? I was like, I feel like that's another reference to something else.
I don't know.
I cannot keep my world straight.
Dude, you are farting.
He's very comfy.
Look at him.
He's very comfy.
Sorry guys, my Pomeranian is farting in my lap, and it is stank. Because he's an old man. Hatterax, maybe?
Yeah.
Hatterax?
No. Yes?
Spell it.
This is Borderlands. No, I haven't found it yet.
Oh, okay. So that, he gives very, like, cereal vibes. The cereal from...
Cereal. I was
yes.
like the breakfast food?
What? Cereal. So he's always, like, sipping on tea. It's like, oh no, you caught me. And he's like, you can't call me like a dog, but here I am.
But let's do this.
But I'm
what you got for me, baby?
What you got, boo-boo? Let's talk about it.
I don't know. I can't find it. The thing with the H. The thing that is not of this world.
I think it was the Hatterax.
And then it's just like, I just want to watch. Like, creepy.
And I'm like, I don't like that.
No,
No.
So, all that to say, we will read the third one.
I will read the third one, and I do recommend that you read it, but just be aware of don't pull too hard at the threads.
Do not pull at any of the threads.
And if you are confused...
This is a look, don't touch.
Right, and if you are confused and just feel like you're floating, yes.
Same.
That is exactly where you should be.
Again, treat it like you would treat a beach read. We're not thinking too hard about it.
We don't want to think too hard about this, guys.
The spicy scenes are not poorly written.
No, spicy scenes are good. I mean, there are some like questionable, like what would be seen as sexy, but like, eh.
Yeah. They're like lust for each other is there. And it leans a little more, it's not like full, it leans darker than some of the other stuff.
Yes.
It has like, but I wouldn't call it like,
I would not call it
anything.
Dark romance.
No, I would just say that it's maybe darker than like...
The story in general is a darker story.
Yes.
Yes.
And they have a little more sort of like dominance, like energy to them.
Yeah.
Or like dom play.
Yes. I agree with that.
So like that's good. And like again, sort of like one of my like main demands is like when I do get the rules of the world, it is an interesting magical hierarchy.
Right. And
when I get the rules. And what I am sort of like most interested in, because I do actually think, for all my complaints in previous pods about the religious aspect of the pantheon that gets built in these worlds, this religion is not too complicated.
No,
it's fairly straightforward.
I just wish I could know more about it.
Agreed. But like it is like the fact that like her sons are named after the daughters of the god and she meets them, like it's all very like interconnected in a way that is very clear and pretty simplified, which is I think for the better. I think if you are going to lean into like a religious especially, like, if you have a pantheon of gods, like, you gotta simplify it for the love of God, and do not name them all the same first letter.
Looking at you, Broadheart.
Make them distinct. I think that is something that's, like, is a shining moment, and I think should be leaned into more. And I kind of hope that's where we're going with book 3, especially, like, when we're going into Hell, and we're going to deal with the fact that, like, Kingfisher, I will not be calling him by his real name. He is Kingfisher.
That's a stupid fucking name. I don't even know what it is.
I'm hoping that Saris continues to call him Kingfisher, because he continues to call her Osha, so I'm hoping that, like, that name remains.
No, because they changed it. They changed it to, it's not Kingfisher's point of view anymore. It's
I'm not saying that he won't. I'm saying that Kingfisher calls Saris Osha, like, as a pet name. So I'm hoping that Saris, in turn, continues to call him Fisher. I'm hoping that in the way that he calls Saris Osha, that she will continue to call him Fisher.
His name's Kaidan.
I will only be
not here for
to
this.
him as Kingfisher.
Yeah.
This is my hope. This is maybe my vain hope, but this is my hope.
Yeah. Because it's because they even changed it to like a full thing. Okay, also I do say that this is a pretty big shining moment in this book. It's chapter 51, the obvious Kaidan, Greystar, Fenvara. I fucking hate dragons. That's it. That's the entire chapter. And then we moved on. So that is a shining moment. Agreed. I do love that. I do think that I wish she put a little bit more humor in it.
I agree.
I think that it has great potential to have a lot of humor in it.
It shines when Carrion's there. Ren brings a lot of levity as well. But Ren is nowhere to be seen for half of this book. And Carrion is not in the realm for half of the book. Right. So two characters who bring some levity, not present.
Because, like, he gives, like, Ren gives a little, like, kind of, like, the straight man kind of vibes, but he'll just, like, state things. He's like, hey, Sarah, so, like, you smell like sex. You should probably go stand by the fire. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty funny.
The fact that this is, like, a trope that, like, every single one of these books have is just sort of like, when you're aroused, we can smell it on you, and then when you've had sex recently, we can smell it on you. It's, like, a lot. But also, like, they're, like, all horned up all the time. So, like, how would you know? They're all smelling like it all the time.
Right. Well, and it's usually, like, there is, like, oh, that was a big yawn. There is a lot of, like, only the men can smell it. I'm like,
again.
But let's actually talk about the true shining star of these books.
Onyx. Who is white.
Well, but he's got black tipped ears.
He does have black tipped ears.
And he has a black nose and black eyes.
Cute. And his leg was broken, and his paws were all
cracked and bleeding. I was like,
what are you doing to me?
To be with her.
I know. Oh my fucking God. And then she's like, save him. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
And then she was like, don't make it hurt. And I'm like, no.
I know. And then she's like, just kill him. I'm like, what the fuck
is wrong with you? And he's like, I'm not going to kill him. Also, like, I kind of, like, I really wish that, like, I wish that Kingfisher, because again, I'm not calling him by his name. I wish that Kingfisher was less like he'd make a good hat and, like, realize sooner that, like, Onyx was there to be a protector.
But also, quit being a shithead to him. Like, when he,
right.
Like, in book 1, fine. In book 2, he is fully also your pet. So fucking stop it.
Right. Like, knock it off. Like, stop being a baby.
Philip would never make you a hat. You look so tired.
He's so sleepy. Do I say something to the people?
He just went, he's over it. Well, it's dinner time, bud.
Yeah. It's past dinner time.
Past dinner time.
I'm okay.
You're okay, but the meatballs.
Oh, boy. But yeah,
right.
No.
Well.
So, of all of those things, I still think people should read it.
Yet, here I am with the fancy copies.
I'm waiting. I'm gonna get my Fancy copy, hold on.
And not only a fancy copy, not only is it fancy, it's a signed fancy copy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
For all my protesting, I have a signed copy of this book.
So I still like it.
Do it that way.
And look, I also like, we can't compare. Sometimes you just cannot compare apples and oranges.
It's true.
Even though they're in the same basket and they're both
Even
apples.
though they're in the same fruit basket.
Even though they're both technically apples.
Yeah, but I like a Honeycrisp better than I like a Granny Smith, you know?
Yeah, and this is definitely a Granny Smith story.
You know?
I'll still eat it if it's the only apple available and I'm dying for an apple.
I prefer a Pink Lady over a Red Delicious.
Well, Red Delicious are gross, so like...
Yeah, and like Macintosh, do not come near me. You like Macintosh?
Macintosh aren't bad.
Honeycrisp and Pink Lady, or I don't want to hear it.
Well, I mean, Honeycrisp, top notch. Then Pink Lady, and then I would say a Macintosh.
Bold. I would put a Red Delicious over a Macintosh.
Ew! You're wrong. You're wrong. Just wrong. No. Those are like genetically modified to be gross.
Macintosh are like mealy, like 98% of the time.
I mean, sure, they are a little softer. But like,
no,
Macintosh are just gross.
Mealy. Yes, Macintosh are gross, we agree.
No, sorry. Red Delicious. Red Delicious are gross. Like, I'd rather eat a slightly mealy than eat a Red Delicious.
Literally never. I never want anything mealy in my entire life because you know that is one step away from
moldy.
Mm-hmm.
And as none of you know, but are gonna find out, Teresa hates mold.
I have a mold phobia.
Yes. Anything that looks suspicious or could possibly grow mold within the next day.
If it's thinking about growing mold in the next 48 hours, finished.
That's it. Done.
Finished. Get out of here. I don't even want to see it. Well, Philip, thank you for being our very special guest.
Yes. Say, you're welcome.
And Philip, should we do this in person next week?
Yes.
Are you going to be our special guest again next week?
That was a yes.
That was a yes. That was a resounding
That was a resounding
yes. Even though he's fighting through hunger.
Oh my goodness, he's not fighting through hunger. He's fine.
Look at those ears.
I know.
I love an uffie.
I love a good uffie. Thank you for licking up my nose. All right, so next week we hopefully will talk about, I don't know, something else. So
definitely talk about something.
It'll definitely be a jibber jabber about something. A little bit of chaos sprinkled in.
All right, Philip. Until then, what do we say? One-ll
plus one-ll
equals
toodle.
toodle.